beef tacos with wasabi mayo.
The great thing about street food is anything goes. The only rule is they've got to be really fast and really tasty. Now, these tacos mix a Mexican and Japanese flavors into a delicious, meaty mouthful. First off, get that pan really nice and hot. These are sirloin steaks. Sear it in the pan with all that fat on. They'll add flavor. Salt and pepper. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil in. Pan, nice and hot. Hold up the steak and lay it in. Always lay away. Give the pan a little shake and it stops the steak from sticking. We're looking for colour. And if it sticks, it's going to burn.
While the steaks are cooking, I can get on with my super quick marinade.
Now, 2 tablespoons of miso paste. That's a fermented soybean. That gives a really nice sort of rich sweetness. Tablespoon of sugar, a couple of tablespoons rice wine. That gives it a really nice vinegary kick. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil, salt and pepper. I'm looking for a nice sort of thick, rich marinade.
Marinade done, it's time to turn the steaks.
Tilt the pan and give the steaks a little baste. All we're doing every time is just adding more and more flavour. Take your tongs and sort of lift the steak on its back and really melt all that fat down. Off with the gas. Take them out. Just take your knife. See all that fat there? Just slice that off. I don't want any of that. Now, in to the marinade. Beautiful.
Tacos are one of Mexico's most popular street foods. They can be made from beef, pork, chicken or fish and are loaded up with amazing sauces and spices.
Now, I want something sort of pickly. Cabbage. These are Chinese cabbages. Slice it in half. And look at it, really crisp and really tasty. We're going to slice that into quarters and then just shred it and take your time. Think of cabbage here and you think of sort of braised, overcooked cabbage. Nothing worse. But in a taco, you want freshness. A little season of chili flakes. They sort of discreetly give it a little bit of heat. A little touch of rice wine vinegar. If you haven't got that, fresh lemon juice. A small drop of toasted sesame seed oil. Give that a really good mix. Now I need something to sort of bring it together. We take some wasabi paste. Very hot, very spicy, a sort of thumbnail size. I'm gonna mix that with a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise and give that a really good mix. These are basic corn tortilla. The trick is to sort of colour them and then shape them. Actually place it on the gas ring. Use some tongs so as not to burn yourself.
You can also toast your tacos in a frying pan.
From there, I'm just gonna place it on the rolling pin. Literally 30 seconds as it cools down.
The great thing about serving tacos is people can fill them themselves, just the way they want them.
Cabbage, just squeeze out wet marinade. A nice, rustic little mountain. Mayonnaise on. Wait till you see how soft and delicious and almost sort of melting in the mouth texture we've got on this amazing sirloin. So we've got that really nice sear around the outside. It's just nice and pink in the middle. Start off with my crispy shell. Back of the spoon with the wasabi mayonnaise inside the taco. And just sprinkle that delicious pickled cabbage. And then just start lining my taco with 3 or 4 slices. Touch more of my spicy mayo. And that is how I'd make the perfect taco.
Malt chocolate doughnuts.
Street food is all about satisfying your cravings. These doughnuts are sweet, sticky, and absolutely delicious. First off, we're gonna make the dough. Now, this dough takes a bit of time, but it's really exciting.
I'm heating all of the milk with the sugar.
This yeast, easy to get hold of. And when you make fresh doughnuts, you need fresh yeast.
Adding some of the warm milk to the yeast will activate it, which will help the dough to rise.
Just half. Give that a quick whisk. The sugar's dissolved in the milk. The fresh yeast disintegrates instantly.
Set the yeast mixture to one side while it does its job. To start the main dough mix, I'm adding half the butter to the remaining milk.
That gives the dough a nice silkiness. I want it light. So melt the butter into the milk. Flour into a sieve. That helps to make the dough nice and smooth. And you know what? When you've got a smooth dough, it sort of rises evenly.
Add a pinch of salt and 2 egg yolks. Pour in the warm milk and melted butter.
Don't start over-mixing it. When you over-mix the dough of a donut, it gets really tight. You're not going to let it aerate. Yeast in. Ooh, nice and warm. I love that smell. Now, I'm looking for a sort of elasticy texture. Just dropping off the spoon. Nice. Flour the board. Take the dough out. Lovely. Lightly sprinkle, touch more flour, and just pull it over and push in. And every time you're sort of turning it, almost like you're turning the dough into itself. The dough should just sort of relax. And it shouldn't be sticking to your fingers now. It's just nice and pliable. Set that in a nice clean bowl. A little sprinkling of flour in there. So as it starts to rise, it doesn't stick. Cover that with thin film.
Leave the dough to rise in a warm place for 60 to 90 minutes until it's doubled in size. This stage is called proving.
Now, whilst that's proving, get a pan on.
For the chocolate filling or ganache, pour 500 ml of double cream into a saucepan and add honey. Bring the mixture to a gentle boil.
Traditionally, we've always put jam in there, but chocolate and donuts, wow, to die for. Add the cream. Now give that a good mix. The butter elevates the ganache into a really nice, shiny chocolate coat. Look at that, whoa. Give it a really nice whisk. So the whisking gives it that aerated texture to the ganache. You're just lightening the load a little bit. Wow. Nice.
Chocolate filling done. Put it in the fridge to cool, then it's time to gently roll out the dough.
Just let it roll naturally, about 1.5 centimetres in depth. Slice. 1, 2. Place them on to your tray and let them rise again.
Once the donuts have had 30 to 40 minutes to rise, it's time to shallow fry them in a pan filled 1/3 full with hot vegetable oil.
Risen, but look, they're sort of like little pockets of air. Right, here we go. Place these in nice and carefully. 4 maximum. If there's too many in the pan, the oil will go cold and the donuts will come out soggy. Turn them over. Beautiful. They're gonna come out into some sugar mixed with some malt powder, 50-50. How do you tell they're actually cooked in the center? Tap on top, it should be hollow. In, and just sprinkle the malt and the sugar. Shake off the excess. I get so excited every time I make donuts. Now, look at those beauties.
These are delicious, eaten as they are. But the ganache is going to be the icing on the cake.
Piping bag. Peel the bag over your hand. Don't forget to pop the nozzle in. I want the texture, almost like a little liquid inside. So I'm gonna pipe them when they're a little bit warm. Hopefully you've got that burst of magic. Operation Donut. Lift up the donut, squeeze, push in and fill. Just till you start seeing that chocolate coming out. I'll sit that back down. Nice. Sit them on there. They've got a little bit heavier, and we all know why. Nice. That one's got my name on it. Whoa. That is amazing. Whoa.
Slow cooking is one of the best weapons in the chef's arsenal. Not only is it easy, it's also an incredible way to transform meat into mouth-wateringly melting dishes. Mastering the art of slow cooking is something every cook should learn. First up, my phenomenal slow-cooked beef short ribs.
Slow cooking is a brilliant way of getting lots of extra depth and intensity into your dishes. The secret is to lock in all those flavors at the start and let the ingredients do their thing as it cooks. These are beef short ribs, and there's basically 5 to 6 bones across there. And as the short rib cooks, it sticks to that bone. The bone implants flavor, and the meat just sort of melts. Cooked slowly, gives it that nice level of intensity. Slice alongside the bone, straight down. You can see that marbling. That sort of disappears and disintegrates.
I'm cooking them in a roasting tray. Get it on the heat until nice and hot.
Season the beef short ribs beautifully. Olive oil in, bone on the top. We'll start colouring that in. Really important to give the beef short ribs a really nice sear. If you didn't brown the meat off, it goes in the oven and it looks like boiled meat. So you really want that nice, dark, rich colouring. Just cut the garlic in half, slide that down the side. That's going to give that beef an amazing flavour.
To give body to the sauce, stir in a heaped teaspoon of tomato puree.
So I'm just hitting the bottom of the pan with that tomato puree. And we call it cooking out the tomato puree. Otherwise, it just goes in there raw, and it gives this sort of tartness to the braised short ribs. Red wine in. Don't use an expensive bottle of red wine. There's no need.
Bring the wine up to the boil and reduce it. This burns off the alcohol and concentrates the flavour.
It makes a big difference when you reduce the red wine down by half, because it gives that nice, dark, rich intensity. Look at my garlic. That is just going to sweeten everything up. Incredible. Stock in. Beef stock, perfect. Chicken stock, fine. Just to about an inch underneath the beef short ribs. Bring it up to the boil.
To lock in all that flavour as the beef ribs slow cook, cover them so they braise from the bottom and steam from the top.
Into the oven, 2.5 hours. 170 to 180 degrees. In she goes.
The great thing about slow cooking is you do most of the work in advance and then put your feet up.
5 or 10 minutes before the beef short ribs come out of the oven, start your garnish. This is light cured pancetta. I want nice, thick lardons, nice, big, thick sticks of crispy bacon. These are delicious chestnut mushrooms. I'm not going to slice them, I'm just going to cut them in half. But look at the colour on those lardons now. All the white, raw fat has disappeared. The lardons have shrunk right down. And all we've got there now is the proper bacon. Mushrooms in. Beautiful. So the mushrooms get seasoned from the bacon.
I'm pan-frying these separately to the beef so they remain crisp and at a different texture.
Leave that to cool down. Now, this is like Christmas Day for me. When you unwrap that foil, wait till you see what's underneath it. Wow. Smell. Incredible. Lift and place on your tray. Beautiful.
To make a fantastic, rich, deep sauce, press the soft roasted garlic through a sieve into the cooking juices.
Want all that nice pureed garlic coming through there. Because that is going to make the most amazing flavour. Scrape all of that off the sieve. Nice. And then just start sieving all that lovely braising liquor. Whoa. In. That smells delicious. Take your sauce and just glaze. Do them individually. They deserve that respect. Spoon on your bacon and your mushrooms. Beautiful. Be generous with these mushrooms. I'm telling you, they taste amazing. Flat leaf parsley. I want that freshness over those amazing ribs. Incredible. Never ever be embarrassed about going to your butcher and asking for cheap cuts, because the results are incredible. Amazing beef braised short ribs with bacon and mushrooms.